Hey,
Hello,
hey.
everyone. Hey, Jason, how are you?
I'm good. That's a good way to kick things off. I was
I like
dancing.
it. I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah, I thought you go kind of chill and I go energy, right? So, we can
I'll
take
bring the
turns.
American hip hop. You can bring the European the club dance, right?
Exactly, exactly. Hi, everyone, and welcome to 20 Minutes Event Props Marketing Live. We are back on this wonderful Wednesday, hump day, and we are talking all things digital branding. So, this was a topic that we introduced and launched, I want to say 2 weeks ago. We talked about the idea of, or the concept of digital branding because so many companies have opened, or you might be thinking of opening a business, and your online presence is super, super important. And so we wanted to talk about all the different aspects of digital branding. So last week we talked about brand personas, and Jason gave us a fantastic breakdown of how do you come up with your brand persona, what kind of an exercise can you do, because it's a great way to come up with the personality and the voice and the tone of your brand, which is brilliant. And we got some fantastic feedback, engagement on that video. So hopefully today is going to be the same, because today we're going to be talking all about colors. Colors are super important when it comes to your digital branding, as we both know. But I'm going to hand it over to Jason now, and he's going to bring us into the colorful world of colors and branding.
Amazing. Thank you, Sabrina. So, as we all know, colors are vital to creating your brand, and I think it's a nice transition from the brand persona, the design persona, into colors. Because once you've made this profile of a person, who is this person? It's a great time to start thinking about the colors, and it's quite logical then, because you know what this person's like, you know how they talk, you know how they act, you know what their character is, what your brand is, and it becomes much easier to decide which colors would be appropriate
Yeah.
for your brand. So I mean, let's kind of get to the why the colors are so important first, right? So I mean, in one study, I think it was something like 93% of people put a lot, like most of their decision into buying a product is based on how it looks.
Mhm.
So on the
Yeah.
visual side. And the first thing people notice, they don't notice what the image looks like. They don't notice what the logo actually is. They may not even notice the name. The
Mhm.
first thing people are going to see is the color. So it's really
Yeah.
your first point of impression. And as we all know, first impressions do make a big difference. So that's kind of the big why we need to focus on this and make sure that we choose a nice color that fits your brand.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it fits your brand persona.
Hmm.
So Jason has a bunch of colors that we are going to bring up onto the screen and talk about. But I guess before we go into that, we could tell our own kind of individual story as to why we chose the colors that we chose.
Hmm.
So me, for example, I've always associated myself to the color yellow. Hot hospitality has always been yellow. Why did I pick yellow? I think the most, I guess, deciding factor of why I picked yellow is because it's a very positive color. It's
Hmm.
a very energetic color. It makes me happy. It's the color of sunshine.
Yep.
And so it was something I wanted my brand to be, to have those attributes to it. So I went with the color yellow. There's also that whole discussion further of, you have one brand color, but then you also have a palette of colors to support your main color
Hmm.
brand. And that is something, we can talk about in a little bit of detail afterwards. But now I'll bring up also, Jason, tell us about your colors though, before
Sure.
we bring up the color
Okay.
wheel.
So I think I've mentioned this in one of our talks before. We did a big rebranding for Acomo,
Mhm.
and during part of that process, obviously, was the brand persona and then the colors. And to be really honest with you, we brought in a designer because
Mhm.
sometimes it's really good to have some professional help too. There's nothing wrong
Absolutely.
with that, and if you can find really good designers. Agencies is a great place to start, but even if you're on a budget, if you're on a tight budget, head over to Fiverr, head over to Upwork, and there's very talented freelancers that can help you with this. But we took the brand persona to the designer and worked with him. He's a friend of mine named Mark Brooks, really nice, excellent designer, and
Mhm.
we went for the colors black and we went for this what we call the Acomo blue
Hmm.
or Acomo green. We kind of have an internal argument about which one it is, but the black is more for professionalism, for luxury. It's sleek. It gives a sense of calm. So because we are B2B, we're corporate, so we want to have
Yeah.
that part of it, but we
Hmm.
also needed to reflect the character, the brand persona, which was also fun and humorous and had personality. And so we wanted to throw in this kind of turquoise, bright blue in the background too. So that's where ours comes from, and our designer helped us with that. We brought the core, the persona, and he helped us kind of guide those decisions.
Fantastic. So now we're going to come up with a bunch of colors that we're going to talk through. So
All right, cool.
red, which is what I'm wearing
Red.
today.
And I was thinking maybe it'd be fun because I'm so short, just to like reinforce the idea that um, this is important. I'm
Yeah.
sure that when we see a color, I'm sure we can name brands
Oh,
on
yeah.
this
I
color
love that
just based
game.
on the
Let's play
color,
that
right?
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
So let's start with red. So red, and this is pretty common knowledge, so there's probably not any surprises here. But red, a lot of times, is energy, passion, and danger. By the way, I got this from a website called 99 Designs.
Hmm.
So just we're borrowing this, just so they know.
Exactly.
Thank you for it. It's a really nice website that has some good information here. So red, energy, passion, and danger. So Sabrina, what brands do you think of when you think of red?
I think of Virgin Atlantic.
Yep.
I think of Coca-Cola.
Yep.
I even think to a certain degree of McDonald's because of the
Yeah.
red French fry
True. Yeah.
packaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the top three that I think of when I think of the
Well, we do
color
have a
red.
shared passion for the McDonald's French fries, so I'm on with that one. Exactly. So I mean, I actually had the same. I had the same thought. I was thinking McDonald's, Virgin, Coca Cola,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean these guys. You see this color so often, that,
Yeah,
and they repeat the color, and by repeating the color, you actually strengthen the brand too.
yeah,
So yeah, this is red. So if you feel like your brand is energetic and passionate, maybe a little bit edgy, red
yeah.
is a great color to go for. It's a really good color for attention.
And also, if you are a woman or you identify as a woman, you know about Jimmy Choo. And what is Jimmy Choo known for? The red sole of his shoes.
Yeah, true.
No, it's not Jimmy Choo. What am I talking about? It's someone else. Oh my God, I failed as a woman, Jason. I have failed. It's not Jimmy Choo, ladies. It's
I
someone
don't
else.
I
If
don't
you're
own any.
watching, Andy, if you know
Please
the answer to this, I know the
save
answer to this.
us.
I've just
Save us in the
forgotten it
comments.
completely. But yeah, it's. Let's see. It'll come to me. But if it does, at one point when it does come to me, I will shout it out loud. But
We're
let's
gonna be
move
on
on
like
to
we're
the
gonna be in
next.
like the color brown, and you'll be like, this one. All right. So let's keep rolling. We got orange.
Le Bouton.
Le
Sorry,
Bouton.
Christian Le
Okay.
Bouton. Oh my God.
We'll go back to red just for that. All right. Yeah. All right.
Look, I haven't worn heels for a really long time, guys. Okay, so you gotta like forgive. So, thank you,
The
Maria, for that.
saved us.
I love it. We've got so many in the audience watching us. I love this. Andy Lebouton, Maria Lebouton, Sam, Sabrina. It's Christian Lebouton. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Let's move
Sorry.
on.
This is work from home. This is secondary effects of working from home. Nobody's wearing high heels at home anymore. So, um,
Exactly.
all right. So let's keep rolling.
Yeah.
We got orange.
Ooh.
So creativity, youth, enthusiasm. I mean, the most obvious one here is Orange, right? The
Yep.
telephone company.
Yes.
What other ones? What other brands you think of when you think of Orange?
So if you're out in the, if you're watching us, drop what are the brands that come out to you as
True that.
well when you see the color orange, because it's always interesting to see. Let's see. For me, it's Fanta. Is that weird?
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. No.
I
No.
love Fanta, and
We
Fanta
got
is.
French fries and Fanta. We're doing good.
We are not junk food parents, okay? I just say. Um, but yeah, I think
Yeah.
Fanta is definitely one. What
Yeah.
else shout outs at me when I think Tang? I grew up with this drink called Tang. Uh,
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yes. Yes.
and it was
Yeah.
like this powdered drink that we would
I was,
mix
I was gonna say,
in
can you call
water.
that a drink? Are we allowed to call that a drink?
It's like Kool-Aid, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Tang was that. I don't really know any other Tango. Andy has
Orange.
said Tango.
Tango.
Tango, which I think is a
Yeah.
drink as well in the
Okay.
UK. It is.
All right. All right.
But yeah, orange is a good one. Good thing of
Orange
that.
is kind of a, I think it's a color it's gaining traction. I think orange had a bad rep for a few years because also I think colors do have trends.
Mhm.
I think orange is pretty popular in a lot of like kind of the new tech companies too.
Yep.
I don't know if King is a gaming company. I can't remember if it's orange or it's definitely a shade of orange, orange or yellow. But it's a creative
Yeah.
and
Very
young
vibrant.
brand. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a hard one for me. I would have a hard time with orange, but it can work for certain brands.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Next one.
Yellow. All right, this is all you. I think of hospitality.
Oh, I love that. I hope everyone thinks of hot hospitality when they think of yellow.
But
What's a
yeah, I
brand
mean,
that I would
you
say
named
should?
these earlier. You said happiness, hope, spontaneity, energy, sunshine. I mean, it's a bright color. It's a bright
Yeah.
color. If it's
Yeah.
fits your personality, fits the hospitality brand. Let's see. All right, let's go for some brands that are doing yellow.
Oh, what are yellow brands? Jason, this is a hard one. I
Just
mean, I
I've
know
got them.
mine,
I've got
right?
them all over my wall. I've got post-its all over my wall.
Post-it. Yes, that's
I don't
right.
know if that counts, but
I think it does,
yeah.
because that's what you think of when you think of the color yellow, right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
we've got, okay, I'm actually cheating now, but McDonald's, hello,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
golden
yeah. The
arches,
golden arches is the
golden
big one.
arches.
Again.
Um,
So yeah,
there's,
I mean,
I
while
think,
you're looking, I think to be fair, yellow is again, it's such an intense color.
yeah,
It's a hard one to pull off. But it can be used really, really effectively. I think you use it really effectively
I
in
think
in your
yellow is a
Instagram.
Yeah, I think it's a really good color to use in combination with other colors as well.
Mhm.
It's great to have as part of your palette. I know when we were coming up with our branding for 20-minute event props marketing,
Mhm.
we were trying to see which colors worked well together. And if you see our
Yeah.
background of the screen, yellow works really well with Acomo's bluey green.
Yep.
So I think it's a nice thing to either give a pop. So we've
Yeah.
got some of our audience members telling us. So McDonald's is yellow, yes, yarrow. Andy has said Lidl with the yellow
True.
and the
Yeah.
blue.
True that.
Um,
I keep.
Andy has also said IKEA with the yellow and the blue.
True. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Cocoa Pop. Are Cocoa Pops yellow?
Cocoa Puffs, really? Eee.
I would go brown with Cocoa Pops. Um,
It
let's
could
see
be,
what
yeah.
else.
The logo itself
Hertz,
could be, yeah. Hertz,
Hertz
yeah.
Rental,
Yeah.
Nikon as a camera
Hmm.
brand,
Yeah, yeah. That's
and
true.
and Lay's potato
Yeah.
chips. That's a
Yeah.
big yellow one. So that's some good examples of
And
yellow.
isn't it amazing that all of these names, these brands are coming out just because of a color? I mean, that's how powerful the color
Yeah,
can be when you're looking at a brand, right? If you can get
absolutely.
people to associate your brand with a color, that's a massive step. You're like
Wow.
subconsciously in their minds all the time.
Yeah,
Pretty powerful. All right, so
psychology.
keep on
Keep
moving
on, keep
on.
it green.
Green. All right. So here we
Ooh,
go. Obviously, the main one with green is nature. We associate green with, meadows, trees, leaves, plants,
Starbucks.
growth, Starbucks. That was really fast.
You fast? I think Starbucks it'd be BP. Good one, Andy.
True that.
BP is a
Yeah,
good
that's a
one
great
for
one.
green.
Yeah.
Fiverr is a brand that has built
Ah,
their branding on that beautiful green that
green.
they have, and it's
Yeah, true.
everywhere if you see in
Hmm.
their branding.
Yeah.
A very relevant one
Yeah.
within the events industry, Jason, is Swapcard. Swapcard has a
True.
wonderful green
Yep.
that they have in their
Hmm.
branding as well.
Yep.
Whole Foods, yes, Andy,
Hmm.
that's a great one as well. What about you? What are ones that come to your head?
Uh, I'm going to go back to my North Florida roots here and say John Deere, the tractors.
John Deere. I love that. Land
Just
Rover.
going back
That's
to my
another
my
one,
childhood,
right?
yeah. And I think isn't Spotify? Spotify, I think
Spotify is
Spotify is
green.
green.
Spotify is green. Holiday Inn
Yeah,
is green.
Holiday Inn.
Um,
Yeah, that's good for
uh,
the
WhatsApp is green.
true. Yeah, of course. I almost see it so much I forget.
Yeah. So, and I to a certain extent, I almost want to say StreamYard also is green because it's got that
Yeah,
little green duck, right?
true.
So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
their
yeah.
main
True.
accent
Hmm.
color.
Yep.
So yeah, it's nature, growth, harmony,
Yep.
wealth, stability. I like that. That's
Exactly.
nice.
Exactly.
Um,
All
okay.
right. So let's keep going on with the game. Blue. Yeah.
Ooh,
All right.
blue.
So calm, trust, intelligence. There's a very corporate color too. I love the color blue. It's used a lot though.
It is used a lot.
My only complaint about blue is how often this kind of shade of like the dark blues and things, because it kind of makes me think of I don't know, like IBM, like the really
Yeah,
corporate
that's
companies.
what I
Yeah.
had in my head,
Okay.
IBM as well, because it was that
And
white and blue logo that they started off with, right?
exactly. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of great. I mean, I love the color blue. I think the color blue is probably one of the more popular colors that people
Yep.
like. But it does give this sense of like confidence as well, trust. Well, I mean, trust. Right? Facebook.
Well, we've got Yarrow has said LinkedIn,
Okay,
Twitter,
true.
are blue, and Facebook as
Yeah,
well. So that's three
fair.
social media platforms that are trying to be calm, get
Yeah,
our trust,
getting
and
your
I
trust
guess be pillars of intelligence.
of intelligence. Fair.
Which is super interesting. PayPal, which is a good one. Yeah, PayPal is
Yeah,
definitely
true that.
blue.
Nice
Um,
one. All right, we got to get a junk food though, because we're on a roll with the junk foods.
Ooh, what's blue and it's junk food? This is a good question though. I
Um,
mean, I don't associate blue usually to food.
How how about Oreos? Do you guys eat Oreos?
Yes, Oreos. Well done.
I'm
Well
getting
done. Slam
hungry.
dunk on that one, Jason. That was a good
No.
one. Slam dunk. I love good Oreo. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have one right after this actually. That's a good
So, so I mean, this is a good one. I mean, and with all of these, remember that you can go with shades. I mean, we chose
Yeah.
kind of a green blue, something a little bit that pops a little bit more,
Mhm.
because we wanted to offset the black part of our logo.
Yeah.
So, when you think about these colors, also don't be afraid to think in shades. But I love blue. I think it can be done really well. Some really nice brands use blue.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
Skype.
So
Skype uses
Skype,
it.
true that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It's what Andy is saying. There is a lot of tech companies that use blue,
Hmm.
and media and marketing companies. So it's something
Yeah.
definitely think about if you're in that space.
Hmm.
Definitely could be a color that you want to
Yeah.
incorporate into your palette.
Yeah. And maybe also, just to take maybe a counter view too, is if you see a lot of people in your space with that color,
Mhm.
if you want to stand out in the space, maybe try something different too. Because
True.
if you live in a sea of blues and you're just another blue logo, maybe orange is going to make you stand out a little bit more, be more memorable. Even though we can't remember any brands that are orange other than
One
Fanta.
just actually came to my head with orange.
Hmm.
So I think if you're in the space of digital marketing, you know Neil Patel. And
Yeah.
Neil
Oh yeah.
Patel is
Fair.
that's it. He's
Yep.
orange. He's just one
Yeah.
big
That is true.
orange.
He is
Neil
all
Patel.
in on
Yeah.
orange. That is true. All
which is
right.
which is important as well, if you're not just for your business, but if you're thinking about colors to represent your personal brand.
Hmm.
Like for me, I people associate me with yellow, and the
Hmm.
fact that Neil Patel is associated with orange, that says a lot in terms of how you've built and subconsciously incorporated that color into people's minds of
Yep.
perception, and they think of that color when they think of you. Is a
Yep.
very powerful thing.
It is. It is. Let's keep rolling. We got next
Purple.
purple. Purple, purple. Luxury, mystery, spirituality. I think
I just think
loyalty
of
as well.
Barney. Is that bad?
Luxury, mystery, and spirituality. I mean, that's Barney.
Spirituality could be Barney. I mean,
For me, I think of Cadbury. I can't get,
that's probably a better one. Yeah, that's probably a better one. Cadbury is a good one.
but it's on the same line of
Actually, that's
junk
interesting. A
foods.
lot of chocolate brands are purple.
Oh,
Cadbury,
Milka, right?
Milka is also
True.
purple.
Yeah, fair.
Absolutely. There's
Yeah,
probably a couple of more chocolate brands that are purple.
Wonka.
I want to say. Um,
Wonka is blue.
Wonka. What
Yeah.
are some good purple brands? So
Twitch. I don't know if anybody uses Twitch, but Twitch is all in on purple.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Uh, Monster is
Yeah.
purple.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The
Yeah.
recruitment
Yeah.
brand
Hmm.
Monster is purple. Um,
Yahoo. I think,
Yahoo.
purple.
Yeah. I
I
never
haven't been to
actually
yahoo.com in a long time,
I
but
haven't been
I
to
think it's still purple.
yahoo.com in a really, really long time. Purple cows.
And
Yeah, it's interesting. I think purple is a good color if you want to
mm,
stand out because not that many
mm,
people use it that often.
yeah. Well, we just launched our new brand extension, the Acomo Plus
Yep.
website, and the Acomo Plus website we went for purple. Well, we call it blurple, which
Blurple. It's like a
essentially is
bluey
kind of
purple.
like a deep blue purple. Yeah, exactly. But kind of exactly for that reason, because it's kind of a source for suppliers, trusted suppliers that we curate, and so we wanted to have a color that was based on kind of trust, and we did see that there wasn't much purple in the market, at least in our market, so we're using that color, blurple. But yeah,
I think it's great. I think it is also a color that I associate. I think the combination of purple and gold comes up a lot when it comes with luxury
yeah,
brands,
sure, yeah,
and I think it's a great color. And they've nailed it here with the luxury
yeah,
mystery and spirituality because a lot of spiritual, like tarot readings and
hmm
anything
true,
mystical, you do
yeah,
tend to get quite a lot of purple in those kind of brandings.
true
So
that,
nail
true
that
that.
on the head.
Do we
Perfect.
have any comments about any other ones come up in the comments there?
We've got Zoopla, which is a UK, I think,
Zoopla.
property online where you
Oh,
go to find
okay.
property and to rental properties. So
Nice.
yes, definitely from
Okay.
Andy. We've also
Cool.
got Maria who said Claire's accessories, which
Ah,
is true.
true.
I have been many a time
Yep.
into a Claire's, or right,
Hmm.
I have been dragged
Nice.
into many a time into Claire's accessories. Put it that way. So yeah,
It
no, I
happens.
think that's awesome. There's some
Nice.
good ones. I think FedEx is also purple.
Okay. It
Fed.
is. Yeah.
The
It
Fed of
is.
FedEx is
Indeed.
purple, so that's a good one.
Indeed. All right. Cool. Let's keep on rolling. Pink.
Yeah, Yarrow literally just asked, "Do you have pink on your list?" And it just came up.
We do.
We are 1 second ahead of you, Yarrow. 1 second ahead.
We
Um,
do.
yeah, pink.
So, femininity, playfulness, and romance are generally associated with this. Obviously, the correlation with femininity is interesting. I think it's changing too.
Mm.
With our kids, I have two boys, and I mean, my youngest boy, he loves the color pink. So, but I think even then, from a branding perspective, if you do go with pink, that there still will be that connotation.
Yeah, I think it does have a big underlying. It's the same with blue. If you go with blue,
Hmm.
it's a very people think it's a very masculine color.
Right.
It's associated to that gender,
Mm-hmm.
but people have started kind of doing pastel blues for, say,
Mm,
a more feminine kind of brand to kind of
true.
soften it down. And I think with pink, it's very interesting. There have been quite a lot of very I guess, male influenced branding that has got like a hot pink on it.
Hmm.
We've seen in
Mm.
Formula one of the racing teams, they are all in pink.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. So you want to
Hmm.
check that out. Be sure to check. I'm not sure exactly which team it is, but they are all in pink. And
Huh.
they're even their car, there's like parts of it that's like hot pink. So it's really
Yeah.
interesting because Formula One in general is a very
Yeah.
alpha male sport, I think, with racing and everything. So it's interesting. But some of the brands that I think of when I think of the word pink is
Mhm.
definitely Barbie.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Hmm.
number one for me.
Yep.
Since we're on the on the junk food route, Dunkin' Donuts is pink,
Delish. Uh-huh. Yep.
right? And we've got here, Andy has said Airbnb as
Ah,
well
true.
is pink. Didn't
Yeah,
realize it's an
actually, yeah, it's got
interesting
that kind
shade
of
of pink.
nice fade. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah,
Some
good
other
one.
ones, yep. Yarrow said Barbie. Instagram is pink. That is correct.
Ah,
Instagram is
yeah,
well, Instagram is like a pinky purple, isn't it? It's
yeah,
like a
it kind of
pinky
goes through a
purple,
what do you
like
call it? A gradient. It's got a
yeah,
nice big gradient. But yeah,
exactly.
pink's definitely in there. Hmm.
T-Mobile,
Yeah.
good one, Yarrow. Yes,
Nice.
T-Mobile is
Hmm.
a very
Hmm.
well-known pink brand. That is for sure.
True.
Another one that girls will know, or anyone that identifies as a female, is Victoria's Secret. Very, very pink.
True. Hmm. Yep.
That is a huge color for them.
Hmm.
I think it's a great color. I
Hmm.
agree. It's going through a bit of a renaissance
Hmm.
with different branding. I think
Yep.
it can be a really powerful part of the palette if you choose to
Hmm.
integrate it in with the right main color. So
Totally.
pink is definitely one
Yeah.
to watch.
And again, get like I know I'm repeating myself here, but we always have to keep as the base what is our brand persona, right? So there definitely is a brand persona that fits pink.
Yeah,
And so if you do that exercise and you come up with your brand persona, I mean, it may be obvious that pink is the right direction. But yeah, it's an interesting color. Yeah.
absolutely. And of course, Yarrow said, and word of mice is pink. Yes, it is. Word of
Ah,
mice
yeah,
is
yeah.
pink.
True that.
Absolutely. So good
True
one,
that.
Yarrow. We are a little over time, but I think it's a great, great thing. I want to keep kind of going a little bit,
Yeah.
to the rest of the colors.
All right. We're
Let's do it.
almost done. I think
Brown.
we got maybe three more. Huh? So,
Perfect. Excellent.
brown, we got wholesomeness. I think like organic nature as well.
Yeah.
Um, brown. Some of this just boils down to taste too, doesn't it? Like
Yeah.
I have a hard time with brown.
I am actually trying to. Well, UPS is brown. That's
UPS.
interesting.
That's the
That's
main
not the
one.
first
Yeah.
one that came to my head.
UPS
UPS.
and M&Ms for me.
M-
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Hershey's. Andy, that's right.
Yeah.
Brown Hershey's.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a good one. I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. A&W. That's very American. We
Oh,
had
the
that
root
in
beer.
Singapore. The
Oh
root beer. Yeah.
my god, I haven't had root beer in years. Wow. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I know. So
Hmm.
that's definitely Nespresso is probably one of the
Nice. Okay.
newer, well, I
Yep.
say newer, but more modern brands that have really
Hmm.
embraced the
Which
color
makes
brown.
sense. Yep. Makes sense.
The color of
Hmm.
coffee, yeah,
Hmm.
absolutely.
I think what's
Louis
the
Vuitton is also
bags?
brown.
Exactly, yeah, Louis
Yeah,
Vuitton. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
exactly. So, phew, I think I made
So
that comeback after Louis
yeah.
Vuitton error. I'm back with error Louis Vuitton. So to speak.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, we do eat a lot of brown things. Yarrow is like, how about Nespresso? Yes,
Yep.
Nespresso absolutely
True.
is added to the list.
True that.
There tends to be quite a lot of food and fashion brands actually that are
Hmm.
using brown, which is an interesting thing
Hmm.
to keep
Yep.
in mind.
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's a very earthy, grounding color,
Yeah.
and it
Hmm.
can be a really great kind of main color with pops
Yeah.
of other
Yeah.
colors. Oh, Tim Tams, well done,
100%.
Andy. That's a good
Tim
one.
Tams. Wow, that we have an Aussies in the room, huh?
We, Tim Tams, HP sauce, Newcastle Brown. Yeah, we've Aussie, UK. We've got a good
Yeah.
mix up in there.
Awesome. Amazing.
Yeah. So next color.
All right. Black.
Ooh,
All right.
black.
So this is one of our colors as well, mostly because of the elegance. Like what we were providing was a high class trade show accommodation, event accommodation, car service. So there was an element of our brand that needed this touch of seriousness and elegance. And I personally I love the color black. I think 75% of my shirts are black, mostly, so I don't have to decide what I have to wear every day. But it's a really nice color that to pair with some of these other colors, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think black is definitely one you should have on your color palette, especially if you are in the space of digital branding,
Mhm.
because for writing purposes, you need to be able to incorporate, if you're going to be having copy of any kind or text of
Yeah.
any kind on your graphic images, you want to have a color that's really going to stand out or
Hmm.
against any other color palette to
Yeah.
kind of be read. So I think that's super important to incorporate white and black in general into your branding
Hmm.
as color pops, or if you want it to be the main color, which for a lot of very well-known brands, black is the main color of their logo. A lot of
Yeah.
luxury brands
Yeah.
like Gucci, like Chanel,
Mm.
Dior, Coach, Prada, they're
Yeah.
all black and white.
Hmm.
That is in essence their so if you want to, I guess, have that feeling of a really exclusive luxury brand,
Yep.
white and black seems to be the way to go.
Yep. 100%. I think is Uber is also
Uber is
black.
also black, exactly.
Um,
And that's interesting too. Vogue, yes, Roselle.
hmm,
She's telling
nice
us
one.
Vogue is definitely a good one. Vogue is definitely
Yeah.
black.
Good
We've got
one.
Emporio Armani. Yeah, it's
Hmm.
Yarrow saying it just means completely luxury to me. And there is
Yeah.
a color psychology to using black. I think that is
100%.
it's very sleek, it's very chic, it's very understated and yet very powerful. So I
Yeah.
definitely would go back with that. Yes, exactly. Andy says the little black dress is, it's an icon.
True. Yeah.
Tiffany's and Audrey Hepburn is one that you associate directly to,
There's a theme here, isn't there? It's
yeah,
it's 100% high class
luxury.
brands.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you're aiming for. You're gonna go black.
Nice. Exactly. All right. Now I think we got one more, and this is the contrarian color. I don't know if that's a word, but we're gonna go with white. And white is simplicity and minimalism, 100%. And
Mhm.
I think for me the most iconic is I think Apple. I mean they use a lot of white in their branding,
Yeah.
but I because that's exactly what they're trying to go for is like simplicity of technology.
Yeah,
And
I mean, if you
they
Google it, Apple seems to be the only one that really comes up.
really it's got their
It's they're pretty much
mm,
ruling the marketplace when it comes to
okay.
brands that are
Mm,
uh, white in color.
yeah.
If there's anyone else that can drop a logo or a brand that
Mhm,
that ties into white, let us know.
yeah.
On the flip side, obviously, a lot of the brands that use black as their main logo um, flip it and they have a black background and use
Mm,
white as their main logo.
yeah. Yep.
Oftentimes
100%.
that happens quite a lot. So
Yep.
even though we say luxury is Gucci, Dior, Prada, and all of that,
Yep.
they could just flip the switch and they could just put a white version of their logo on a black background and it's exactly the same.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it's also a very nice color of simplicity and
Yeah.
minimalism.
And I think the important thing with white and black specifically, why you need to have a kind of another color, is that you have to think about where all these colors are going to appear
Yeah,
in your like your brand life. So it's going to be not only your logo, but you're going to have it on your website. You're going to have it. I don't know if you have uniforms or merchandise, social media posts. So and you can't just have white everywhere. You need to have some other colors that are gonna, like you mentioned, if you're gonna have copy, it makes sense to go with your brand. So,
absolutely.
yeah, no, I think that's a pretty good rundown. We went way over time,
We did go way
so
over
I think
time.
we've got one more tool to share, and then
Yeah,
we can call it a day.
we're going to end now, but on this note, because we want to make sure whoever's watching this has actually something that they can take away and they can use if you are in the space of looking at rebranding your brand or you want to find out about the color psychology. Now, this is a website actually that we all know and love and use. This is Canva. So Canva actually has a colors dedicated website. And you can actually go on there and it's basically canva.com/colors. And you can find the perfect color tools and resources for any project. You can find a color palette generator. There's color palette ideas for bringing different color combinations together. You have a color wheel part you can go to. You can also find out the meaning of different colors. So I'm just going to click on that bit so you can see what it looks like. It brings up all these different things. So you can read about all the different colors. I kind of feel like this might be a little bit Acomo-ish.
It
Right? So
is.
this is, there you go. It tells you a little bit about where the color is taken from. It tells you all the different combinations and where it could fit nicely within color palettes. And it brings up a ton of different color palettes as well. So I think this is a fantastic website and resource if you are thinking about digital branding and colors with your brand persona. And it allows you to, it also gives you access to a bunch of whole other things. And of course, Canva is free to use as a tool. So if you use it, I pretty much live on Canva. And it is been a lifesaver definitely for me. So yeah, that was the one last thing that
Cool.
I wanted to share.
Let me just jump in there before we go to, and you brought up a really good point, which is I think once you understand your brand persona, I would personally kind of focus on one color, right? One color, kind of choose the palette of that color, but make that your core color. This is who we're going to be. We're
Exactly.
going to own this color. And
Yeah.
then using this tool that we just showed you, then you can find what other palettes go along with that. Because at the end of the day, there are colors that go better together than other colors. But make sure that your core color is the one that you're basing the rest of the palette on. Because, like we said at the very beginning, 93% of people are choosing their products or services based on how they look, which is the color. So make sure that your final selection of colors makes sense together and work well.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much to Yarrow and
Yeah,
Maria and Andy
awesome.
and Sam for taking part in
Yeah,
making
thank you
this
guys.
chat so fantastic. If anyone has any particular questions to do with color, please do drop them into the comments. If you're watching this as a replay, I hope you had fun. And thank you for dropping some questions if you want around the space of colors. And go check out that Canva design website as a, I guess, first step into the world of colors. It definitely breaks it down and makes it easy for a lot of people. So we will see you
100%.
next week on Wednesday, back with 20 Minutes Event Props Marketing Live. And we wish you a fabulous remainder of the week. And yeah, take care, everyone.
Happy
Bye,
Wednesday.
Jason.
See you later.